So you're planning to buy a house but don't know where to start from? This video is for you. The process of buying a house can be very daunting if you're buying for your very first time or even the second time. You may be anxious about making a very expensive mistake because of the many steps and tasks involved in the process. Hello, my name is Nasa Muzaya. I'm a real estate agent here in Boston, Massachusetts, and this video is intended to be a complete guide. It's a step-by-step tutorial to help guide you on how you can better prepare and also take you through the process from start to closing on your dream home. Without wasting much time, let's get into it. So the very first step is to think about and determine your long-term goal and how owning a house fits in. So why exactly are you looking to buy a house? So are you looking to convert all those wasted rental payments into mortgage payments to help you build equity? Or maybe you just enjoy the idea of being your own landlord and being independent of all the tenant restrictions, or you just want to buy a property for investment, to collect some rent from it and build your passive income. So whatever the reason is, thinking about the big picture of home ownership will help point you in the right direction. However, home ownership is not for everybody. Do not buy a house because someone you know, a friend or relative just bought a house. Home ownership is a very big responsibility, and every one of us has different goals and we are all in different financial situations. So if you think you're not a responsible person who cannot take care of house maintenance issues or do some things on a house that can improve its value, then think twice. So I caution you not to follow the bandwagon, but to be very cautious while you invest your hard-earned money. So with that said, let's get started. So step number one is to evaluate your financials, your spending habits, and your credit. Before you even start looking through all those pages of house listings and admiring your dream home, you'll need to do a serious audit of your financials. You'll need to be prepared for both the purchase of a home and the ongoing expenses of the house. This audit is going to tell you whether you're ready to take this big step of purchasing a house or not. So you'll need to evaluate your savings. Do not even think about buying a house if you don't have an emergency fund with at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved up. When you buy a home, you'll need to have cash for upfront costs, for example, a down payment and closing costs. So you'll need money put away for not only the down payment and the closing costs, but you'll also need money for your emergency fund. So if you're planning to save for more than a year, you can use a CD account, which is a certificate of deposit account. However, if you're planning to save for less than a year, keep your money liquid in a savings account. Please consult your financial advisor to guide you in choosing the best account to use for your savings. So as you save, you will need to know how much money you need to save for your down payment and for the closing cost. For first-time home buyers, there are some government programs that you can take advantage of. For example, the FHA program will actually allow you to put down as little as 3.5% of the purchase price. Some conventional loans will allow you to put down as little as 3% of the purchase price. Yes, you heard me right, 3% of your purchase price. For example, if you're looking to purchase a house worth $600,000 at a 3.5% down, you need to have $18,000 saved up for down payment. So in addition to your down payment, you will also need money saved up for your closing costs, like I already mentioned. Closing costs are expenses involved in this transaction, like attorney fees, appraisal fees, your loan application fees, title search, your title insurance, your home owner's insurance, and many other costs. So although the amount of money needed for your closing costs may vary due to things like the purchase price of your home, the property taxes in that area you're buying the house, you'll need to save up to 3 to 5% of the purchase price for your closing costs. So the other aspect of your finances that you'll need to evaluate is your spending. Know exactly how much money you spend every month and on what. Make sure you account for everything, including how much you spend on utilities, food, your car payments and maintenance. You also need to account, for example, for entertainment. Anything that you spend your money on in a month, make sure you account for it. This will tell you how much money you are left with after all expenses to pay your mortgage. So generally speaking, to qualify for a home loan with good terms, you will need to have a good credit score and a good history of paying off your bills on time and maximum debt to income ratio of 43%. So lenders generally limit the housing expenses, which include the principal, taxes, interest, and the homeowner's insurance, to 30% of the borrower's monthly gross income. For example, with all things constant, you'll need to make a gross monthly income of $10,000 to qualify for a $3,000 mortgage payment. And again, this depends on the local market. I have made a video about how you can improve your credit scores in a very short time. Please click the link right here so you can watch it. So I have also included the same link in the description below. Step number 2 is knowing the type of house that best suits your needs. So at the beginning of this video, I talked about having a long-term goal and knowing what type of property you would want to buy that fits those goals. Goals for owning a residential property are way different from those of owning an investment property. So when you're looking to buy a residential property, you actually have many options to choose from. You can decide to buy a traditional single-family house, a townhouse, a duplex, or a condominium, or you can also buy a multi-family house with 2 to 4 units. Each of these options has its pros and cons. So depending on your goal, you will need to choose what kind of property that will help you attain those goals. So if you're looking to buy a property for your family and to have that privacy and escape all the drama of tenancy, then a traditional single family house might be right for you. However, if you're looking to buy a property where you're going to live in and also collect some rent to build some passive income, then a multifamily with 2 to 4 units might be right for you. So try as much as possible to think about your goals and then decide what kind of property you'd want to buy. Step number 3 is deciding which home features you'd want or need in your house. This is probably going to be your most expensive purchase in your life, so you need to know which features of a house you really need to have and which ones you desire to have. Of course, your list should include the best requirements like the size of the house, how many bedrooms and bathrooms you'd want to have in your house, and which kind of neighborhood you'd want to live in. Sometimes you will need to be as flexible as possible depending on the market you're in and your pre-approved purchase price. So you'd want to make 2 lists. One of the features of a house that you really cannot compromise with not having, and another list of features of the house that you really want to have in a house, but you don't really need them. This will help you not miss out on good deals because you won't be focusing on unnecessary items. And step number 4 is knowing what purchase price you qualify for. Before you even start shopping around and looking at listings, going on showings and open houses, you'll need to have an idea of how much your lender is willing to give you for a purchase price. You might think you qualify for a $600,000 house, but your lender might think that you qualify for a $400,000 house, depending on your credit score, how much debt you have, and your monthly income. In order not to waste your time, make sure you get a pre-approval letter from your lender before you go to showings and open houses. Sellers will not even look at your offer if it's not accompanied by a pre-approval letter. So you do this by shopping around and applying for mortgages. Since I work with multiple lenders, I usually provide a list of lenders to my clients they can choose from and compare for best terms. Step number 5 is to actually know how much of the home purchase amount you can actually afford. So I talked briefly about this in step 1, evaluating your finances. When a lender gives you a pre-approval letter for a certain purchase price, you do not need to use the entire amount to purchase a home. This is just leverage for you to use while looking for a home to buy. You'll have to also consider how much the homeowner's insurance is going to cost you, how much you anticipate to spend to improve your home or maintain your home. So step number 6 is finding a real estate agent. So after evaluating your financials and knowing what your credit score is, how much money you need for down payment and for the closing costs, knowing what type of house you want to buy, how much of the purchase price you qualify for, and how much you actually can afford, then you'll need to decide on who is going to help you in the process of buying this home. So the question now is, do you really need a real estate agent to buy a house? My answer might be a little biased because I'm a real estate agent myself, but as I answer this question, I'm going to be as neutral as possible. So according to the 2020 real estate statistics by the National Association of Realtors, close to 90% of home buyers use a real estate agent. So does one need to have a real estate agent to buy a house? My answer is no. You do not need to have a real estate agent to buy a house as long as you know what you're doing. So if you know the ins and outs of the real estate contracts and you know how to negotiate for the best terms on your purchase, then by all means go ahead and not use a real estate agent if you wish. However, this could cost you a lot if you make even a slight blunder as you complete those contracts. Besides, it's the seller that pays the buyer's agent's commission. What do you lose by using a real estate agent? On the other hand, myself as a real estate agent, I have handled several transactions. I know the ins and outs of the real estate contracts, which items to negotiate and which items not to negotiate. An experienced agent like myself will know which contracts to use, which addendums to use, and when to use them. So a good real estate agent like myself will help you search for your dream home, meet with you to view those homes, and help you make an offer that stands out, handle negotiations, and help you complete paperwork. So a good real estate agent can help protect you from any pitfalls that you encounter during the process. He or she will be your source of guidance from start to closing on your dream home. Step number 7 is to start your home hunt and make an offer on your dream home. So once you've been pre-approved by your lender and you've met with your real estate agent, the next step is to start searching for homes. So your real estate agent will help you set up a search for you to receive homes that fit your criteria, like your purchase price, your desired number of bedrooms and bathrooms, the square footage, and so on. Your real estate agent will take you to view those houses that you feel fit your criteria, and also help you make an offer on those houses and negotiate the best terms for you. So now you've found the house that you would want to buy, so it's now time to make an offer. Your real estate agent will help you run a comparative market analysis, which is a CMA, to determine the fair price depending on the recent sales in that area. So the offer contract does not only include the offer price, it also includes conditions which are called contingencies. So a contingency is a condition included in the offer contract which allows the buyer to actually break that offer contract if that condition is not fulfilled. For example, a mortgage contingency in summary states that a buyer is free to walk away if he or she has been denied a mortgage loan despite all efforts to acquire one. Step number 8 is doing a home inspection. Congratulations, your offer has been accepted. So at this point, you're now going to do home inspections and negotiate repairs. I have done a detailed video about home inspections. So in this video, I show you how home inspections are made, how to negotiate repairs, and I also show you how to ask for seller concessions. Please click the link right here to watch the video. I've also included the same link in the description right down below. So step number 9 is signing the purchase and sale agreement, also known as the P&S. So you have now finalized all the negotiations and you the buyer and the seller are now in agreement with all the terms of the transaction. So you both must sign the purchase and sale agreement. So this is typically signed by the buyer first, and the seller will not sign the agreement until they receive the check for the earnest money deposit. Step number 10 is submitting the documents to your lender for approval. So after signing the P&S, you, the buyer, are going to work with your lender and submit and sign some documents, including completing the loan application. So the lender will also require a home appraisal, homeowner's insurance, a title search, title insurance, and many other documents. So a home appraisal is actually an estimate of how much the home you're trying to buy is actually worth. So this is based on the recent comparable sales in that area. So the lender only provides funds that cover the appraised value of the house you're trying to buy. So if the appraised value comes back below the purchase price, then you'll have to renegotiate the price down, or you may have to come up with a difference. So this is one of the reasons why having a mortgage contingency in a contract is in your best interest. So the lender will also require you to purchase a homeowner's insurance. So there are various levels of coverage of the homeowner's insurance, ranging from basic to comprehensive. So make sure you do your research and choose the plan that is best for you. So at this stage, your lender is going to submit your file to underwriting. So the underwriter will then critically analyze your application and would either deny, or will come back and ask for more documentation, or will approve your loan. Once your loan has been approved, the next step is to do a final walkthrough and then set a date and time for the closing. Step number 11 is to do a final walkthrough. At this point in the process, you're probably exhausted, but at the same time excited. But do not forget to do a final walkthrough. This allows you to make sure that all the agreed upon repairs have been completed by the seller. I cannot stress enough, the final walkthrough is very, very important. While you do the final walkthrough, you might find something that needs to be fixed by the seller just before the closing. So please do not overlook the final walkthrough. Step number 12 is the closing. You've made it to the final step of the home buying process. So your lender is going to send you your the closing disclosures at least 3 days before the closing day. So make sure you review the closing disclosures. So these may include the loan terms, the closing costs, and all other fees that need to be paid at closing. So the closing agent or the closing officer will mediate between you and the seller to make sure that every document has been signed correctly and then submitted to the lender. So on this day, you have two main responsibilities. So number one is signing all legal documents, and these might include the closing disclosures, the promissory note, the deed of trust, and the certificate of occupancy, and many other documents. Responsibility number two is paying the closing costs, which we've already talked about, including the attorney fees, the application fees, the appraisal fees, and many other fees that are involved in this transaction. Once you've signed all the documents, the closing officer is going to send all the required documents to the county to be recorded, and this is when the title passes from the seller right to you. So your agent is not supposed to hand over the house keys to you until you're on record as the new homeowner. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for future videos like these. Please leave a comment right down below and let me know what you think about the home buying process here in the US. And if you have any experience, please let me know what your experience has been during this process. Until next time, I'm out.